Hey Doodle Heaven, Texas. I want to show you today how our waiting list works. This can be a little challenging to understand a general waiting list, but this really does benefit you. In fact, it doesn't really benefit me as much because I don't always know how it's going to turn out, but it is going to benefit you. So let me show you how this works with our mini litters and my board here that's going to try to explain it. First of all, we start the mini list. And here are the people on it. You'll notice 1, 2, 1, 2. Now the reason for that is we always reserve the first two for us. They'll usually say DHT, BHT. Those spots are our, if we're going to keep one or if we have a current owner who wants one, they do get kind of a prize spot because they already own one of our doodles. So as you can see in our mini litters, we already have people who have filled those two spots. Now there's a chance that one of them may not take one of these litters, as there's a chance with any, but at this point in time, those are secured. Now we have two mamas. We have Mercy and we have Sadie. Sadie is a deeper red. They weigh the same, right at 15 pounds. We already know this family, Dickerson, wants Sadie's litter, timing and color. So she is the next person after our reserved ones, so she definitely moves into the third position on Sadie's spot. Now, here's where it gets complicated with any of these. Say the next three want females, and let's just say Mercy only had 2 females and they wanted females. Then these next 3 wouldn't be getting a puppy in this litter unless they chose either. When you fill out the application, you can put female, male, or either. Now, if you definitely want a female or you definitely want a male, you put that. But if you're undecided and it's not a huge deal to you, put either, because once you say it, you can't switch it. So you cannot come back and say, oh, just kidding, I really would want a male, because those are the only ones that are available. Because we've already lined up how we think people are going to fall into place, and that's what's going to be critical. Be sure and like and subscribe on our channel. This allows you to see the future videos. You can turn off notifications so you don't have to have it ping your phone, but it does allow you to see them as we upload them every week. We've had a couple of weeks where we skipped because I didn't get it done, I'll just be honest. But for the most part, we're going to do these once a week. A lot of information. Some of it will be boring to you. Some of it, hey, may be very interesting. So we'd love for you to like and subscribe. It does help our channel grow. Gets us up to the top in that YouTube world, and so that more people can see it. It's not to sell dogs for us. We're not going to breed any more than what we're doing right now. That's not the goal. The goal is more information. The goal is to teach you about scams, which are huge. The goal is to teach you about what to look for. The goal is to help you know what do you really need for a puppy and what do you really want. What are some training tips? What are some fun things that you'd like to have, that we've enjoyed, that we think can be beneficial to you? It's not, the goal is not to bring in more people to sell puppies. The goal really is education and to teach you about our process. So like and subscribe, it would really help us out. Thank you. So if those next 3 were for a female and we didn't have them, they would automatically, in that order, move to this list according to the gender that's there, and that would move these people up. Now, we cannot predict how many or gender, no matter how hard we try. There's no way to predict that. At 5 days before delivery, we do an x-ray and we can know the number. With Mercy's last litter, it said 7. She had 8. So bonus! We had a bonus puppy. That can happen. At the sonogram at 30 days, where we're confirming pregnancy and we see heartbeats, we can tell, hey, there's a whole lot or there's not a whole lot. Now, how do you define a whole lot? Well, I'd say more than 5. But again, that is just a really good guess. In this breeding world, we have to make guesses. And so if you are just adamant that you want a puppy on this date and you want this gender and you want this color, and I'm not going to be able to provide that for you, and you may need to go elsewhere where maybe they don't have as many on a waiting list. So here's our list so far. I can tell you this person already has moved. They are going to take one of the mediums, so they are off that list. Now, at any time, some of these can say, oh my goodness, the timing's not right. I didn't realize we were going to go on a vacation and we're not going to be able to get one. So at any time, this can change, but it remains there until that happens. Once a litter is about a week old, that's when we start confirming with people, sending messages saying, hey, are you in? Are you out? You want to wait for Sadie? You know, depending on the timing. So it may work out. So I'm not saying you won't get a puppy if you're down here. You may. With our last litter, we had 5 people back out and move to another litter. 5 out of 9 puppies. That's kind of crazy. I've never had that happen before. So people that were on the waiting list for the next litter got a surprise, and they got to move into that spot, which was a joy for them. It worked out, and those people will move on to another waiting list. But I just wanted you to see how many. Do we take a certain number per litter? We don't. We just take a general waiting list. So we could have 30 for minis, and we don't set them up for a list. We just call and confirm once we have litters. We know we will have another litter in the spring. We also have 2 new mini babies. So once they are old enough, then we'll be adding them. So that gives us 4 minis that we can choose from. But again, we're a little bit away from them fulfilling all their testing results and things of that nature. That's how we do our general list. It's the same thing for mediums. The tricky thing about mediums is we do Sheepadoodles, Golden Doodles, and Aussie Doodles. But what I have found out over time is that sometimes people don't care. They might just want a different one. Some are very specific. Yes, I only want an Aussie Doodle. I only want a Sheepadoodle. And then we put you in the general list, but we also start putting you in the list under that particular breed as well. And you always remain in the order that your deposit came in. We have a spreadsheet on Google Docs that shows that and keeps that tracked all along the way. And you can always ask, but when I tell you, hey, Graham, you're number 6, you might be, you might not be, depending on how this plays out in terms of genders and if somebody backs out up here, things like that. So we can give you a good solid guess. It's not that we're trying to mislead you in any way. It's just it can play out very differently as we're going. I hope that explains the process of what we do and how we do it. And we hope that we can have the perfect baby for you really soon.